After 3 days starting in the same place, the Tour de France would finally leave Nice, ending the Grand Départ weekend. The peloton would head north out of the southeast of France and into Sisteron for a first ever stage finish in Tour de France history in a town that had hosted Paris-Nice as many as 8 times. 4 categorised climbs and an intermediate sprint towards the end. 198 kilometres could be a sprint or a breakaway day. A breakaway indeed would go more or less straight away, and it'd be those riders involved in the King of the Mountains competition who would be up the road. Nassim would join them at the moment, but he wouldn't last long. Up there with him was his teammate in the King of the Mountains jersey, Benoit Cosnefroy, fighting it out with Anthony Perez. Perez taking 2 points at the start and moving into the virtual lead in the competition. Jérôme Cousin was with them, and the peloton wouldn't give them too much of a gap. Cousin would be left to fight for it on his own. Perez, by this time having mathematically got the King of the Mountains jersey, Cosnefroy dropping back with him. Cosnefroy would go out to try and take an extra point. Perez still in hand with the jersey, but after a crash he'd be out the race and out of the competition. Cosnefroy keeping the King of the Mountains jersey. Jérôme Cousin on the way to Sisteron, where he took the biggest win of his career, being caught with 15 k's to go. A crash putting Wout van Aert out of the game with 6 k's left. Cosnefroy not suffering the same fate as Perez, staying in the race and staying in the lead of the polka dot jersey. Sprint teams on a very slow day, well slower than the slowest time schedule predicted by the organisers, approaching the last kilometre looking like this. Team Sunweb leading things out, trying to set up Kiss Ball for what would be a first ever Tour de France stage win. Elia Viviani looking for his first win in Cofidis colours, but he wouldn't get near the front. Nizzolo Sagan would launch things a little early into a headwind in the final 250 metres. Then Sam Bennett hit the front, but there would be no first Tour de France victory for the Irish champion. Look at Caleb Ewan coming around Bennett, zigzagging to the line and showing wonderful speed to take a very special win on stage 3 of the Tour. Even more impressive in the overhead shot, Giacomo Nizzolo taking 3rd, Ugo Hofstetter up there in 4th. And in the end, a very, very good win for the Australian. Lotto Soudal with all the bad luck at the start with injuries and losing 2 riders on the opening day. On day 3, they were celebrating. So the second longest stage of the Tour de France ending like this, with Caleb Ewan beating Sam Bennett, Nizzolo in 3rd, Sagan up there in the top 5. His run without winning continues now for over a year. In terms of the yellow jersey competition, no change. Julien Alaphilippe taking it for a 2nd successive day. Would he be able to keep it going into stage 4? First mounted top finish, first real test for the young Frenchman.
Le porteur du maillot jaune, leader du classement général par excellent représentant la France pour l'équipe de Toulouse. Incroyable sur le route du Tour de France sur la promenade des Anglais dédiée à cette victoire d'étape donc à son